Hey, I know I haven't done a live stream for a while, but I thought I would do one today. It's Boxing Day in Australia, and I have a few hours by myself, so I thought I'd reach out and touch base and see how you're going and possibly answer any questions that you may have. I have not been on YouTube as much as I used to. Hi, Katie. Hello, I wanted to talk about that. Uh, hello, Cassie. Hey, I'm working more in mental health at the moment. And Merry Christmas, Wendy. And I have been doing my grad dip in psychology, but I don't know if that will. I'm holding the phone, so it's going to wobble. Hey, thank you very much. Um, I'm doing my grad dip in psychology, but I don't know if that will continue. That will be my third degree. And with the kids, Merry Christmas. It's very difficult to work, do YouTube, have the children, and Merry Christmas, everyone. This is very communal, isn't it? Hey, Pete, this is lovely. I wanted to ask you a question. When I live stream, the views are much, much, much lower than my meditations, but I get asked for live streams. Do you want me to live stream? Thank you, Cassie. The question, would you like me to live stream, say, once a week and answer questions? Thank you. Uh, when I live stream, the views are a lot lower, but I feel that it's still important to live stream. So I wanted to ask you that. The meditations will always be so much more popular, but it's nice to have the chance. I can see the screen shaking around. Thank you, Katie. I don't have a tripod that kind of fits in this area. So, okay, I wanted to ask you about the live streaming. I work in mental health at the moment, so I generally, thank you for caring. Cassie, my goal is to have YouTube as a full-time occupation because I love it. I love creating content, and ideally one day it would give me a little bit more freedom to do what I want with marginalized groups and also parenting. But I'm not at that point. It's funny, sometimes I get uh, trolls saying things like, "Oh, you're so wealthy from YouTube," and I think, "Oh, you're hilarious." No, I'm not wealthy from YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that, Ava. It is challenging finding time for yourself, and any of you that are mums, parents, dads, know that it's your juggle. And as much as I try to find the answers to making that juggle work, it's with young teenagers. They need a lot of thought unpacking. So we'll take a particular thought they have and unpack it and look for any flaws in the cognitive thinking and help my children to direct their thinking. Thank you, Lynn. Iris, hello. So I spend so much time talking to the kids late at night and talking about how to think. And you know that I'm a proponent of choice theory, Glass's choice theory, cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance and commitment theory, and person-centered theory, a person-centered approach. Within that, I think we need to be realistic. How's my Christmas been? It's been very thoughtful, Noah. I've enjoyed it. Each Christmas is getting better. I think 10 years ago my marriage ended, and I try very hard not to refer back to that, but because I don't want it to define me. But it was a very difficult time, and I find that as time goes on, life gets better and better. So this is the best Christmas I've had for years. Um, no, I've seen a little bit of snow, Dave, not much, not in Australia. So this is the best Christmas I ever had, but there is a lot to think about. So I've been spending time thinking about how to progress, and I'd really like to do more work on YouTube. I don't want to give up the mental health work, but I work really, really long hours at the moment, so and a lot of night shift. Thank you. So I'd like to be able to work on YouTube more. Thank you very much. Excuse me bouncing in between answering your beautiful messages and saying what I was going to say. I work a lot with people with IDs, intellectual disabilities, schizophrenia, and on the autism spectrum. And I really enjoy doing that, and I really would like to continue doing that. Saying that, I would like to be in a position where I can work on YouTube full time. But it's a journey and it will require time. I spend a lot of my time helping my boys with their basketball and supporting my girls and talking to them about their goals, goal setting. Are there any particular topics? Thank you, Cassie. Thanks for that. Yes, we need to be patient, don't we? And tolerant and accept what is. Are there any particular topics that you would like to hear about? I generally focus on sleep therapy and I bring in some cognitive behavioral therapy work within that, as you may have noticed. I'm careful not to present anything that needs to be clinical. For example, post traumatic stress disorder is something that needs to be managed face to face. And although a meditation may be a supportive therapy, it's not clinical. It's as in a clinical disorder such as depression, post traumatic stress disorder, etc., requires support therapy, which includes a professional face to face resolution support. Ah, yes, I've just been asked, Adele, how I introduce mindfulness to different groups. Now, I find when someone's experiencing severe anxiety or depression, or possibly levels of dissociative thinking, that meditation can be challenging to do. So we keep it simple. We may just focus on a walk and noticing the leaves, noticing the wind, noticing the rain or the colour of the sky, and sitting in each step is one example. We may just sit in the action of breathing as we sit, honouring and allowing for each, yes, person's experience. For example, I've had meditation groups where as soon as we sit down to meditate, the people in the group can feel more anxious because they're allowing their mind to rest, which can bring up memories or may be triggering. So we need to allow for each person's experience within the mindfulness journey. It's not a point, not a matter of just saying sit down, relax, focus on a progressive relaxation. I had an experience recently where I was working with a client with schizophrenia who was scared of sharks, and I did a meditation with this person, and I decided to have a visualization that we're at the beach. And straight away he said, and I said, imagine the ocean, imagine the sand. And he said, are there sharks there? And I said, no, there are no sharks there. But his mind started to go to his sharks, which is one of his triggers. So the ocean visualization was not a wise choice. So mindfulness with people with special needs or marginalized groups allow for their method of experiencing, for their history, for their mindful state, their mental state at the time, and work out a practice which is suitable to them. Yes, 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 Adele, awesome. Keeping it really simple. What suits them and really user-friendly descriptions, because sometimes people with IDs or marginalised people may be less literate. So thinking about the choice of words, simple sentences. I know, it was so funny, Iris. It was hilarious because once he was worried about the sharks and I tried to get his mind off the sharks. I said, there are no sharks here. And he said, but there could be sharks and the sharks could eat you. And I said, I've never seen a shark. I really don't believe there are sharks. But that was, we'd left the meditation and we were like imagining sharks and the whole thing didn't work. But it was a really good learning for me because the beach, I know it was hilarious. The beach visualization is my go to because I love the beach. And I guess I'm projecting. I love the beach, but we need to consider the client. Now, a lot of people have a phobia of birds, so mentioning birds in a meditation is a risk. Some people are scared of outside spaces, agoraphobia. Perhaps to talk, which is something that has to be considered. Perhaps someone's been sexually assaulted. So if you have a visualization where you say, imagine a hug, that is a issue for some people as well. So really allowing the person to explore the meditation comfortably without being assigned a task. So keeping it open where the person can elect how to create and how to adjust that visualization. As I speak, I can see a lot of sentences and I see them for, thank you, Katie, for 1 or 2 seconds and they disappear. So if I don't answer you, it is never deliberate. It's my thinking about what I'm going to say, looking on the screen, and then processing that. We were talking about simple meditations. The most effective meditation I feel for me is listening to binaural sound that is different in each ear, and silence, no scripting at all. But that's me. Everybody is different. Thank you. And we need to allow for everyone's method of learning and how each person receives and experiences comfort, because life is really about experiencing comfort and how we can offer comfort to other people and how we can service and help people feel comfort. Katie, how long would you like the sleep videos? You've just said you like longer ones. All of mine are an hour, or the music is an hour. So would you like a different length? And when you say different length, do you mean the music or do you mean the vocals? It's interesting, I get so many comments and some people say, you just talk too much all the time. And other people say, the space between your words is too long. And it's like that story where the father and son walk the, I'm so sorry, Katie, walk the donkey into the town, and they're criticised for leading the donkey and they're criticised for when they ride the donkey. And the metaphor or the story behind the story is that we can't please all the people all the time. And with YouTube, that's a constant reminder, because every day I get unkind comments from people that don't like my videos. And it's really interesting how they're often opposing. Too much silence, not enough silence, too wordy, not enough explanation. Katie, I would suggest, without knowing you, Katie's talking about sleep. Firstly, professional help, thank you, is supportive and often necessary. Around that, a sleep ritual is extremely valuable because we are so routine based. We feel comfort through positive and healthy routines. And when these routines have meaning, they become rituals. So having a sleep ritual that is the same each night and incorporating into that ritual a hot shower or bath about 90 minutes before you go to bed, so that it prepares the the body clock for sleep. Declutter the room, turn your screens off, consider the color scheme, write down your problems so that you can close the book or close the box and get rid of those problems. Thank you, Erwin. So, having a sleep ritual and creating rituals in your life that give you meaning and serve others. I just missed that message. There's one just came up and then it disappeared. They both disappeared. I'm sorry. Because I'm using my phone, I see the messages for possibly 2.5 seconds at the most, and then they're gone. And I think on the computer, you can keep seeing them, but I can only do this from my phone. So I do apologize if I don't see your message. Um, Thank you so much. I have been asking whether you would like me to regularly stream. The streaming I do is a lot less popular than the videos, and that's why I ask. I don't want to spam you, but I would like to have more, thank you, Alex, more contact with you. When I do a live stream, there's generally children running around and noise and mayhem. When I record a video, it's in my cupboard. Would you like to see my space where I record videos? It's in my cupboard and it's all closed up with clothes, and it's a tiny space, and I have to shut the door and put towels next to the door. I did use a studio for a while, but I found it hard to get parking, etc. Okay, I'll show you the space. It's not very exciting. So in here, this is where I do my, see there's the microphone. This is where I do my recording, and sometimes I do it in my bathroom. See my beautiful bathroom? It has a lot of symbolic things that I really love. Gifts for my children. And do you remember my magic mirror? There's my magic mirror that I take everywhere with me. In this house I'm living in at the moment. Yeah, I know it's beautiful, isn't it? And there's my tree of life. So I don't at the moment own a house, but hopefully one day I will. Hey, Jason, hello. That's amazing. Yes, the magic mirror. I love my magic mirror. I've carried it around. Sorry, everything's shaking here. I've carried it around everywhere I go. I just got a question. It was a clinical question, so I will think about how to respond to that. When you ask me clinical questions, if I answer, then it's not so responsible to the person, because clinical answers require a clinician, but I can give a soft answer to clinical issues such as dissociation, schizophrenia, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, post-traumatic stress disorder. These are things we should not, as having a duty of care, talk about in videos, because we're not in front of the person. We don't know their background. We haven't done an intake, a proper intake. For those of you who have just joined me, I now do a lot of work in mental health with complex needs, at least dual diagnoses, and I really enjoy doing that. Hey! I really enjoy doing that. And as I've recently said, I may need to stop my, thank you, Katie. I may need to stop my grad dip in psychology, because I just have too much on. Oh, thank you so much for following me. I really appreciate it. What do I think of sensory deprivation tanks? Dave, I want to try that. I haven't done it yet, but I really want to try it. It's finding the time to do something for myself. Thank you very much, Sean. I really appreciate it. So it looks like I asked you about live streaming. I'd like to do one a week. Whenever I suggest a routine or a schedule with my work, it never works. It never, ever, ever works, because of the way the children behave. Every schedule I create goes out the window, but I do my best. Thank you to those of you who joined me on Patreon. Uh, may I please ask if any of you are in the position to do so to donate $1 a month to Patreon, because it's a huge help for some of the costs. And I know some of you ask how to help, and that would be a huge help to support me on Patreon, which there's no commitment. You can stop anytime, and it covers a small amount of my costs, which really means so much to me. And you get all my audios for free, high quality wave audios for free. Oh, thank you, Katie. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joyce. God bless you as well. I'm so sorry you're having a dark time. I really am. Cassie, don't worry about it. Honestly, there's so many people that can help. Don't worry about that at all. I need a tripod that actually is the right height, but at the moment I don't have one. Any questions? Abandonment meditations, Pete. Yes, it's we are a social being, so it's so important to us to feel a sense of inclusion and to feel that we're part of the group. And it can be really traumatic when we feel excluded or feel a lack of membership. We don't feel like we belong. At the same time, we are only going to feel complete when that comes from within. That's a fine line, because I think that we all need to relate to others. We need to be social. We need to feel that sense of community. But by being by ourselves and healing ourselves and having a sense of self by ourselves, we can be of more service to community. And being a member of the community can be a little bit more seamless. Now that's generic, because there's so many different situations with different experiences. So we need to, thanks to allow for those particular experiences. Yes, we all need to be validated. Yes, so true, Iris. I mean, you know, I'm single, I don't have a partner, and I have options to have partners, and I haven't taken any of them up. I generally feel really complete and happy, but there are times when I feel lonely, and these feelings can be very high. And I find that one of the triggers for that is my fear regarding supporting the family financially. That can trigger my feelings of loneliness. So I think that when we feel lonely, to sit in the silence and question, where does this come from? What are the triggers for the loneliness? What do we have control over, and what do we not have control over? Because I know when I feel better financially, I feel less lonely. And I know that I have options to have relationships, but I choose not to, do so. Iris, I totally get you. I think we're quite similar. And if we were in the same country, we'd be sitting down and having loads of coffee and tea, herbal tea, and possibly wine together. We really resonate with each other. One of the good things about streaming is that I have the opportunity to see a lot of your messages at once. Yeah, absolutely, Iris. I get so many comments on YouTube from people, and I'm trying to create meditations. They take hours and hours and hours and hours to edit, and then I need to load them. So just the action of creating takes more time than I have. So to respond to comments, and I'm terrible at typing, it's so much easier to try and answer them in streams. Not as personal. I'd like to be more personal, but I have to look at thank you, Jen, the most important priority at that particular time. And it's going to be creating meditations. Thank you. I worked night shift last night in a residence with people in transitional care. So they've had mental health problems, and they're gradually getting to a point that they can live within the community again. So I did that, and I always really, really love it but then I come home to stuff happening and I need to deal with that stuff. Um, so, this is beautiful coffee. I really, really, really love my work. I absolutely love it, and I'll never stop it. However, I would like to spend a lot more time with YouTube. Pete, I don't know. I have to go back and find it. Then I have to go back and find where I stored that music. And I try, the way I kind of store all my, thanks, Cassie. The way I store all my videos is really hectic and a bit disheveled because I do everything fast. So sometimes people say, "What's that music?" And I think, "Oh, I cannot remember." If I've used music, for example, I've used Peter Helland's in the past. Excuse me. So I reference him. I now buy my music, buy exclusive rights to my music. I've got the hiccups now. I'm going to keep hiccuping. I let the coffee go down the wrong way. As we were talking. So any other questions? I make my coffee a number of different ways. I generally like bulletproof coffee. So I filter black coffee in the morning. I add a teaspoon of plant-based butter, some organic vanilla bean, and unrefined organic coconut oil, and I have that in the morning. I know, are they contagious? Yes, yes. I think I had some coffee, so I think the hiccups are okay. So yes, I have bulletproof coffee in the morning, and I really look forward to it. I'm going through a stage at the moment that I'm trying to really watch what I eat again, because I had, at different times, I have more difficult challenges, and the last year I've had some fairly, thank you, significant challenges. What can I tell you? Some of it's personal, but I help support my sisters. Congratulations, Derek. I help to support my sister's brain acquired injury, and I provide some support to that family. And that was challenging. And then I had a legal issue with, not with YouTube, but through YouTube, nothing to do with YouTube. And I went to court and I won, but that took 8 months and a lot of money. That was because somebody took my name and I had to get it back. So through that process, I won, which is great. But I found that I was going without meals and eating the children's meals. So they'd have some corn chips. I'd have a couple of corn chips. I didn't sleep as well. I worried about it. Thank you, Sybil. So I wasn't eating well. Yeah, I know, it was really, really, really stressful. I worked out one night that someone had stolen my domain. Yeah, it was a lot of money I spent, and it went to court in Switzerland, Geneva, and I won about 3 weeks ago. But through the process, because I'd worked so hard on YouTube and didn't know what to do, I put on about 5 kilos, and I'm slowly losing that now. It's the situation's got a lot better, but that was one of the reasons that I spent. It's hard to explain it so it makes sense. Somebody took my domain name, which was my name, which meant it was not so easy to use my name, and I just got the verification tick from YouTube, so I needed my name back. Oh wow. So I didn't eat well, and I put on about 6 kilos, 5 kilos, and felt really frustrated. So now I'm thinking about, oh, thank you so much. Saying that you like hearing about my struggles. Well, I've got so many struggles. Um, I find as a single mother, almost complete sole provider of 4 children, I work so hard on meditating and being in the moment, but then I get these legitimate issues. Uh, I have to be careful when I share my issues with you because they involve people, and I don't want to in any way criticize people publicly or defame them or in any way infer negativity against someone. Thanks, Iris. So I had another legal issue as well that I'm going through that that has been quite stressful as well. And then I thought, will I give up YouTube? What will I do? And went through a period of months of deciding what to do. So now I won the court case in Geneva, and I'd like to spend more time with YouTube. But it's a matter of a step by step. Yes, it's not so much a new direction. It's I had some problems, so I had to find some answers to them, and that's that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I really believe in wholesome foods. I believe in clean eating. I believe in not counting calories. I've competed in bodybuilding many times and I'm older now. Yes, you are so my sister, Iris. I believe in organic food. I believe in trying to eat food for functional purpose. I think that we should enjoy the taste of food without refined sugar and salt added most of the time. I mean, I love sea salt. Um, yeah. Oh, thank you. It's funny I've been on YouTube for so many years now. Is it 10? I started in 2009, just a little bit, but I'm older now, and it's interesting seeing yourself age online. And because I believe we need to focus on well-being, I say to myself, your aging shouldn't matter, Lauren. Yet I'm an animal and I have a consciousness, and my conscious self should not worry about my skin aging because my conscious self is eternal. But my social self feels affected by aging, and I see it, and I at times worry about it. And I think that anyone, if they say they don't care about aging, I don't know if I believe them, because we are an animal. We do belong to a pack. We want our pack to accept us. And in our social herd or pack or tribe, it's important to be young. It's important to be sexy and attractive and appeal to the majority. Thank you, Cassie. So as you get older, it feels a little bit like you are becoming invisible. People aren't as quick to serve you or look at you in the street or walk around you. They may be more likely to bump into you or walk first through the door. Yes, I know. I so agree, Iris. In my mind, I still feel in some ways 6 years of age, in some ways 14, different memories that were really important to me. It's like my mind is still there. I remember as a 6-year-old having a birthday party, and I remember feeling scared at my birthday party because I'm on the autism spectrum, so certain things I find more challenging than others. And I remember profoundly, thank you. Yes, Iris is so beautiful. I remember different times in my life, so it's like my mind is still that age. So my first love, I was age 23. On my first birthday party, age 6, and how I felt at that birthday party, because I'm not always comfortable in groups. I love speaking to groups, but to be around a dinner table with, say, 8 people, not so comfortable, because I like talking about deep topics or nothing. I don't really have a middle line there. I think about the age when my marriage ended. So It's like I'm ageless, but then I think my mind will go back to particular experiences. But society is different. Society almost puts us in a box because of how old we are, and that exists. Uh, yes, yes. Iris is just saying it's difficult seeing yourself physically age. I find that challenging. One of the things I've had a massive amount of experience with training athletes, Olympic athletes, or some work with Olympic athletes, a lot of work with professional athletes, and have a very, very strong history. Yet now in social circles and other circles, people rarely ask me about that. And it's funny because, for 30 years of my life, I worked in fitness. And it's almost as if, oh, you're older now, so what would you know? Uh, it's like age suddenly indemnifies or invalidates you to being able to talk about your experience. I mean, experience is experience. Yes. Uh, Autism, there's research that says that, yeah, that people on the autism spectrum are more evolved because they have more feeling. I know that with myself, it gives me gifts in some areas and perhaps not in others, but I certainly do not see it as an illness. It's just a different way of perceiving the world, and it can be very helpful to people at times. Today I've got another video to edit, so I will do so. I've got a few hours by myself without the kids, which is exciting, lovely. I love being with my children. I choose it over other priorities, but it's lovely to have my own time. Yes, I see people in my family are on the spectrum as well, and it's amazing how they see nature and appreciate an autumn leaf, and appreciate the fine lines and the detail in an autumn leaf. Someone in my family cuts the labels off socks and t-shirts and everything. I think, oh, that's just such a sign. Really feeling everything with greater intensity. Hey, Coop, Coop. Coop is over here. I just got the question, why do we feel so bad? Which is such a large issue covering so many different areas. It really requires a one-on-one answer. We can choose how we feel about things. We do have the power to control our minds, and we do have the power to choose our response. Saying that, don't forget Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that we need a roof over our head. We need to be warm, and I think we need relationships. We are a tribal creature, and the way we're designing society now is to take us away from our tribe. So we have high-rise buildings where we've got all these little apartments where we don't have as much access to people. I think with all the high-rise buildings, there should be a group kitchen where we all share in the dining and food, and once a week one person cooks for everyone else. We need ways that we bring everyone together to share, and bring everyone together for reciprocity, and bring everyone together for sharing. And that needs to be integrated into our society in a way that we are pulled into it. And the way we are now driving to work for an hour there and an hour back, living in apartments, high-rise apartments with our own bathroom and our own kitchen, takes us away from the automatic meeting of other people. Okay, someone has just said, what do you do if one of your friends hurts you? The simple answer, this doesn't sound very sympathetic. The simple answer is that you are choosing to allow them to hurt you. Now, people hurt me, and I feel profoundly about that. We have three options. We can accept their behavior, we can withdraw, or we can try to create change. When we try to create change, it may or may not work. We need to create boundaries to protect ourselves in order that we can be the best person we can be for other people. When somebody hurts us, they are not hurting us, they are behaving in a certain way, and we choose to internalize their behavior. So we need to consider, does this person exhibit the type of values that we want to associate with? This is a complex issue because when we are married, or when we're in a family, or when we're in the community, our role is to compromise our needs for others. But when we compromise our sense of self to the point that we lose ourselves, we have an issue. We do not have the freedom in our society to be whoever we want to be. We don't, because we are social. We are here to serve others. So we just can't randomly behave in any way. We can't randomly express our sense of self. We have to allow for social etiquette, and we have to allow for the social values of that time and what is and is not appropriate within society. Now, we could discuss whether that's right or wrong. We could debate that, but we can't debate that we are a tribe. And within that tribe, we need to find a sense of self and express a sense of self safely for us and safely for others. So coming back to the point, a friend has hurt someone, what do we do? One, accept the friend hasn't hurt us. We've allowed ourselves to feel hurt. What has the friend done? Assess the behavior. How are we perceiving that behavior? Is it appropriate to leave that social set? Is it appropriate to forgive and move on? What is appropriate for the person you are today? And your response, will your response help you be a better person? Is there opportunity in that experience? Is there opportunity in that adversity? We are not going to reach a point in society where everything's harmonious. We're not going to reach a point where all is well and we feel contentment. The more we meditate, the higher our levels of contentment are likely to be. But stuff happens. I was going to swear there. Stuff happens. Sometimes there's just bad luck. Sometimes we just get ill. Sometimes somebody may do something that's really unkind. Say something unkind, be unfaithful. All we can do is try and be in the moment and try and process it, work through it, allow the process, let it go, and know that you are responsible for your feelings. I am responsible for my feelings. How long are we going to allow this issue, this experience to sabotage, to kidnap our sense of self? Because if we spend time looking at the pain, we're looking at the pain and not looking at ourselves. We're reaching out to the pain, we're patting the pain, and not sitting in who we truly are. Now, if we've had a painful experience, we do need to honor it and look at it and process it. But how long? How long do you want to give away your life? Because you're not in the moment when you're reaching out towards that pain. You're not in the moment. How long do you want to do that for? I sound like I've got it all together, and I feel feelings fairly profoundly. So I'm certainly not someone that has it all together at all. I think anyone that says they do, I think they're deluding themselves. I'm drinking hazelnut coffee. It's really beautiful. Okay, well, I might finish off in a minute if there's any more questions. Otherwise, I will finish off. Hello, Justin. Can the inner child ever be trauma-free? Yes, the inner child can be trauma-free. The discussion of trauma is multifaceted, and there's so much I could say about that. Remember, in adversity lies opportunity. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes we carry our pain through life, and there's times that's okay as well. That's so funny. I try to implement some ASMR in what I do now, in the way I use my consonants, T's, and the sounds, and I use binaural sound. Thank you, Katie. Thanks for being a part of it. So I try to do that. So I do a bit of ASMR. I sneak it in. Yes. Yes, I work with people on the spectrum who are completely nonverbal, and we play with ribbons and have a great time. Now, I really enjoyed your response to my live stream. Thanks, sneak it in. Please share my content. It helps me. Please share. Please subscribe. About 75% of my viewers have not subscribed, which makes it harder for my channel to grow. And I want my channel to grow because I love what I do, but it does support my family. And money is not a dirty word. Money is our way to, it's our currency for creating options. It doesn't determine happiness, but it creates options. I'd like the freedom to help with marginalized groups. I'd like the freedom to travel and possibly speak. I don't have that at the moment until the channel grows. So please share. Please, thank you, subscribe. Please ask others to subscribe. If you have a spare $1, please commit to Patreon once a month, $1. You can cancel at any time. And at the moment, it pays my electricity bill, which is a big thing for me. Oh, thank you. Yes, I love writing on Medium too. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for subscribing. Medium, the articles took a lot of time, and I need to work out what's the best pathway forward. So I missed writing on Medium, but it took a lot of time. So I've chosen to try to prioritize YouTube and do as much complex mental health work as I can. So on that note, I think I will leave you today, and I will do regular. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm very happy with 121,000 subscribers. I'll just show you here. You've seen it's a bit messy, my room, but can you see there? There's my beautiful plaque, which is wonderful. It's a beautiful day outside. Can you see the beautiful day? Basketball ring there. Okay, so thank you. I'm going to go now and speak to you again soon. Please listen to my work and take care of yourself. Be well. Get out for a walk. Do some weight training. Eat. Cooper, you want to see Cooper? Hey, Coop. There's Cooper. Okay. I know, I love Cooper. All right, so I'm going to, yes, go. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for looking at my content. Have a great day, and we'll speak again soon. Bye.